Alright, so today I just want to make a quick video on how to pick the right program for you. Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name is Joe. Hope you had a good Thanksgiving if you're based out of the US. And like I mentioned, just want to make a quick video on how to find or pick the right program that's right for you. Specifically because there's been a few of you who've commented down below on some of the programs that I reviewed who said, would this be a good program for me? Or how do I find the right one? Or stuff like that. So I just want to make a little video on how to do that yourself. So the first thing you want to concentrate on here is what level you are. Are you a beginner, intermediate, or advanced lifter? Now the way to determine this is if you've been lifting less than a year, especially if it's been inconsistent or you've never really done any lifting before at all, then you're a beginner. If you've been lifting for, say, up to 2 years consistently, this is important that it's consistent, then at that point you're around an intermediate. And if you've been lifting, let's say 3, 4, maybe even up to 5 years, again, consistently, then at that point you may be considered advanced, as long as you've shown good progress in both your strength and muscle building. So determine which level you are right now. So let's say you're a beginner. You've never lifted before at all. In that case, a good program may be that barbell medicine beginner program that I reviewed just the previous week, because it builds a foundation for those who've never really lifted before, who've done very little lifting before, maybe a month or two at most. Or if you're someone who has been lifting for a little while, who's still a beginner, who built that foundation, at that point then you might want to get into something a little bit more specific, like hypertrophy, in which case Jeff Nippard's Fundamentals of Hypertrophy might be a program you could try, because you've already built that base. So determine which level you are first. The second thing you want to determine is how many days a week you can actually train. And this is important. It's not how many you think you want to train, it's how many you actually can. Because everybody's schedule is different. Life gets in the way. They have a different job schedule. So if you're able to only do workouts 3 or 4 times a week, stick to that. Do a program that you know will follow that. If you're able to do 5 or 6 days a week and you're interested in doing something like that, you can. As long as you know you can stick with that consistently every single week. Now, doing a program for 5 or 6 times a week isn't necessary. As I've mentioned before, the most important thing is not so much the frequency, but as long as you are getting the adequate volume per muscle group per week, which is 10 sets per muscle group per week. Now, doing it a little bit more frequently, hitting each muscle group more frequently, can certainly help with this. So if you're training 4 days a week, you can get an upper and lower body split, something like that, so you're hitting both muscle groups twice a week, and it'll be easier to hit your volume that way. But again, at the end of the day, the most important is what you consistently can stick with. And then the third thing you want to determine is what goal you want to concentrate on. Once you built that base after you're a beginner, do you want to concentrate on hypertrophy? Do you want to concentrate on powerlifting or overall strength? Or do you want to concentrate on a mix of the two? Or do you want to get ready for a sport? Determine that goal, because that'll determine the type of program you go after and who you might get that program from. Now, after you determine those 3 main things, what you want to go now into is who designed the program. You want to look at the background. What knowledge do they have? Do they have a degree in exercise science or kinesiology or something similar to that? Do they have any certifications? What type of information do they relay out on their social media channels, like on YouTube or on Instagram? Does it seem almost too good to be true? Look at the reviews for the programs. See what other people have said, such as my reviews. This is one of the reasons I made this channel, so you guys can look at the reviews of certain people, know if that it's a good review or a good person to follow or try a program from. So look at that, ask around, okay? Reach out to people. If you want to reach out to me and ask if a particular program is any good or worth a shot, I'll be happy to look at it and tell you whether or not it would be beneficial or it's somebody that you should follow a program from. So again, look at the person that you're getting this program from. Look at their background, see if they have actual integrity, a good background, well-educated, experienced background, and they're actually legitimate. And then finally, guys, the fifth thing I want to mention here for determining the right program is, at the end of the day, you might have to try multiple programs because everybody is different. Not every program will work for everyone else the same way. One program somebody might benefit from, another person may not. At the end of the day, guys, you have to find out what works best for you. Try multiple ones out, and then determine which ones work best, which ones give you the most proper stimulus or the most growth. And then once you determine that, then you have a good idea of who makes good programs for you and who you can follow along. And then you can consistently follow that program in the long run to make good progress. And what I want you guys to understand here is that once you fully understand what works best for you, your ultimate goal should be to make a program for yourself. Instead of following someone else's pre-made program, you can then make one that would benefit you the most because it's built around your needs, around what works best for you. And that's what I ultimately want you guys to get. All right, guys, so those are the 5 tips that I have for how to pick the right program for you, how to find which ones you should try out. Again, you can always reach out to me if you need to. Ask me any questions you want to, and I'll be happy to help you out in any way that I can. You can comment down below, or you can send me a message on Instagram. Any way you want to do it, I'd be glad to help you out. All right, guys, I hope you found this video helpful. I'll be back, of course, with more reviews very soon, and I'll see you guys next week.